Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
And I will speak in opposition to this amendment, Mr. Chairman. NEA is already cut in this continuing resolution by $22 million. The NEA's contribution to deficit reduction is really infinitesimal, but its elimination would not be. It would be very costly. The NEA represents less than 1/100th of discretionary spending. The economic dividend this nation receives from the Endowment for the Arts, however, far exceeds the investment we make. Seems to me that when there are too many issues that divide this nation, and there remains too much harshness and rancor, the arts have an even more important role to play because they remain a powerful medium through which we can all transcend our common differences and appreciate beauty, empathize with all of humankind. This is what the arts are all about. This is what NEA enables all Americans to more greatly appreciate. The NEA budget is small, but it is such an important catalyst to help create and sustain the arts. Last year, actor Jeff Daniels spoke at an Interior Appropriations Subcommittee hearing as to how NEA supported the revival of a theater in his hometown in Michigan. It was a small grant, but in his case, it restored the theater and its productions so that neighboring owners then restored their homes and turned them into bed and breakfast places. Restaurant and antique shops saw a boost in their businesses. And in fact, the state of Michigan just built an exit ramp off the state highway to serve the increasing number of cars flocking to this was a virtual ghost town. They are a magnet for businesses every place that they locate, and NEA searches out those opportunities. There are 668,000 businesses involved in the creation and distribution of art and millions of jobs. Just two examples in Virginia. To save time, I'll give one example. Signature Theater in Shirlington, Arlington, Virginia, received NEA grants for their nationally recognized artistic and education programs. I would suggest that all of our members go there sometime. They will invariably see an extraordinary good performance, one that has generated economic activity throughout that community, and one that could not have gotten on its feet without the help of the National Endowment for the Arts. When you cut that budget, you see a dramatic adverse impact on the national arts community, and specifically on arts education programs that are developing throughout community centers and in our schools. We do need to invest in the cultural lives of our citizenry and in our children's future. I can't help but fathom how a nation as rich and prosperous as ours could not find it in its heart to provide $167 million for the Endowment for the Arts. The arts and humanities will survive, but they will not be accessible for the large majority of our citizens who couldn't otherwise afford the expensive tickets that too often are charged at those performing arts places where, frankly, the financially elite are only able to afford to go. What the NEA does is to expand artistic achievement, to give people an opportunity to fully appreciate and for us to appreciate that talent. Denise Graves, who grew up in Washington, the Anacostia area, said that the Kennedy Center could have been a world away. She never would have seen it had not it been for a National Endowment for the Arts grant. That enabled her to then pursue a career that ultimately resulted in one of the finest operatic performers in America and the world. The chair of the National Endowment for the Arts, Rocco Landisman, a Broadway producer extraordinarily effective, active leader, he has suggested reform, that we probably have too many arts venues. Let's consolidate them. Let's make sure that all of them are of the highest quality. It has started a discussion that needs to be done. But what shouldn't be done is to cut the National Endowment for the Arts even further than this continuing resolution does. I would urge rejection of the amendment, Madam Chair.
For what purpose is the gentleman from Washington?